Devin Booker and Kevin Durant score a combined 60 points as the Washington Wizards fall to the Phoenix Suns 130 to 123. And it was perimeter defense that was at fault again tonight because they allowed the Suns to shoot 47% from three. Come on, let's talk about it, y'all. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter, a one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again with my guy AB, and we're gonna go ahead and make it official. My guy AB is officially part of the team over here at Locked On Wizards. Definitely give him your congratulations, man, and definitely looking forward to working with my guy over here, man. He's definitely earned it, man. So definitely looking forward to, man, many times going forward, man. And look, you're gonna earn it because we got a West Coast trip coming up. So, but let's get tonight, man. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant score combined 60 points as the Wizards fall to the Phoenix Suns 130 to 123. I'm currently here at Capital One covering the Wizards, man. So as you see behind me, people are now filtering out of the arena, but they fought hard. But the lack of perimeter defense again was the usual suspect tonight, AB. So was that the key factor, or what other factors contributed to the loss tonight?
I think definitely the perimeter defense. Again, this Suns team got two superstars in Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, and 99 out, they come out and they ball. It's been kind of the theme as of recently. We saw with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropping, I think, 30 plus, and then Ant dropped 30 plus, and now D Book with 37. Again, superstar for a reason. But one thing I am happy about is the Wizards. They came back and fought back. They didn't just sit down and get blown out by 30 or 40 that we've seen the past couple of games. And it was a really close game. Shout out to Keyshawn George, man. I can't wait to talk about how he did today.
I mean, they had their bright moments. Now, look, we know that most nights there's going to be a talent gap. I mean, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant combined 60 points. I mean, Kevin Durant, obviously DMV native. Got a lot of fans in here. There was, it was actually 50-50 in my opinion, man. 50% Wiz, 50% Suns, and obviously a lot of people came out for Kevin Durant. But it wasn't just those two, man. I mean, Grayson Allen came through with 21 points, so he did his thing. He's a guy he's a defensive lockdown player, man, but he can also spread the floor from 3-point range. So, Grayson Allen contributed good minutes tonight. But like I said, it wasn't, obviously it was a talent gap. Ryan Dunn, 18 points, 11 rebounds, shout out to him, UVA guy. So he came through in the clutch. So, it was just a talent gap in my opinion. They're just a better team. Now, how much better? They're now 20-20, 11th in the West. So not too much better, considering where they're at in the Western Conference. But look, we're 6-33. So let's not get it twisted here. But we had our bright moments, especially from the young cast, man. Jordan Poole led the way, 18 points. But, he was aggressive and it showed. 6 for 16 from the field, 3 for 10 from three. He had his moments, but he's very aggressive. But he has some help tonight. AB Bilal, not too bad, 13 points for 4 for 9 from the field. But it was Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, man, that led the way. Alex Sarr, 16 points, but 9 rebounds, 7 for 17 for the field, 1 for 7 from three. So his offensive game continues to mature and he continues to get better every single week. And then looking at Keyshawn George, look, we've been waiting for a while, and he definitely showed back up, man. The 3-point shot was rocking tonight. 8 for 10 for the field, but 6 for 8 from three, 24 points from Keyshawn George. And look, where did we draft this kid again? Number 24, right? I'm just saying. If we're able to find diamonds in the rough in the later stages of the first round, we are definitely heading in the right direction, man. So some other people look at Corey Kiss with a better night tonight. 3-point shot was not dropping, but he did contribute 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. And Jonas Valanciunas did what he usually does in very limited action, 11 points, 8 rebounds. And then Justin Shimpney, again, only 10 minutes played, but 10 points. So there were moments where you could see the potential with this young team. But here's the thing. We're very young. We're very unproven. And, you look at other factors like, some of the vets did struggle tonight. Kyle Kuzma tonight, 5 points, 5 rebounds, 2 for 4 from the field, 0 for 1 from three. And he continues to just continue to slide. His production continues to dip, and it's concerning, especially the closer we get to the trade deadline, where you're hopeful that you can get something, along the lines of a first-round pick and maybe some, a young player or aspiring contract. But at this point, AP, can you even get a first-round pick? And like I said, we're going to talk about, the previous episode, I talked about John Collins, and John Collins has got some interest right now, and the Sacramento Kings are looking at John Collins. So, a potential John Collins to Sacramento trade could derail Kyle Kuzma trade value. because the Sacramento Kings was that one team that was looking at Kyle Kuzma and looking to attain his services, man. So, like I said, we're going to talk about the John Collins potential trade to Sacramento. And like I said, I covered a potential trade to Washington if it came with a first-round pick. So I'm going to get your take on that. But, look at this game, AB. I mean, you saw glimpses from the young squad, but just a talent gap. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker. I mean, these two are two of the best scorers in the league, and you didn't even have Bradley Beal tonight. I don't know if they say he twisted his ankle. I don't know if he's ducking out. I don't know, but like I said, it was just a talent gap, and you're going to see that most nights. But I think the biggest emphasis tonight, AB, is they fought. They fought hard. They came back in that fourth quarter and they made it a game. And you want to get back to that culture that head coach Brian Keefe is trying to instill, which is you play hard, you play to win the game. And that's all you can ask from this young squad. So I'm going to ask you real quick about two young players. Yes, Keyshawn George and Alex Sarr did have really good games, but do you feel like they can become way too dependent on their jump shot, especially the three-point shot?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that at least with Alex, we saw that early on in the season where he was just taking too many threes. And I get it. If you're making it, go ahead. But you got to have a balanced game, especially when in a night where the Wizards, at least we've seen where it's just no ball movement, no attacking the basket. You got to be aggressive, especially as a young guy. These two young guys who hopefully are cornerstones of this franchise. I just feel like most nights outside of this night, we saw Keyshawn who was struggling. If his shot wasn't going in, he really wasn't contributing. So again, taking to the cup isn't the worst thing in the world, man. Old school ball, make a move, quick to the basket. And Alex Sarr, he's got that 7-foot body frame. Go ahead, man. Again, the Phoenix Suns, 20-20, not the best record, but they have those superstars, so it really is hard to keep. But I wanted to bring up the fact that the 9 free throws that they missed, you lost by 7. I thought again, it's just small stuff like that that adds up to losing games. And again, we're a young team, but it's good to see that they bounce back when it comes to fighting and not just laying down, getting blown out by 30.
Don't get me wrong, AB. I do like the fact that Keyshawn George is a sniper and Alex Sarr has the capabilities to hit the three-point shot, but he's way too dependent on that shot. That's his go-to, and you're 7'1". And we talked a lot the last couple of weeks about how the NBA as a whole, as a league, is so perimeter-centric, man. And the Wizards, it's the same thing in Washington, where you have 4 guys on the perimeter and you have 1 guy in the paint. And at 7'1", get in the paint, young man. Look, we can play. Look, obviously he can stretch the floor. And I love the fact that he fits the mold of the modern day center, but he's too dependent on that jump shot. I think I definitely want to see him become more active in the paint. And same thing, Keyshawn George. When his three-point shot is rocking, he's rocking. When it's not, very often than not, he's out of the game. So he's got to find other ways to contribute. And he did contribute a couple of layups. At times he does find ways to put the ball on the floor, create for others and create for himself. So I think he will get there as being a multifaceted player. He's a rookie. So right now he's going with his best attribute, which is three-point shooting. And you can say the same thing about Alex Sarr. They're going with their go-to moves. And with Alex Sarr, rim protection, you see it. He had a couple swats tonight, man. In his three-point shot. But going forward, I want to see him become more of a well-rounded center. You know what I mean? Where, if 7'1", you got to get in there. You have to get busy in the paint. Because I felt like this was a good matchup tonight. You had, Mason Plumlee. And, that was pretty much the biggest center that got a lot of minutes tonight. Looking at the minutes, let me pull it up real quick. Plumlee only got 16 minutes. And they didn't play another center. So I feel like Alex Sarr, Jonas Valanciunas, this was an opportunity for them to eat and take advantage because, nothing against Mason Plumlee, but you had an advantage at the center position. You look at the numbers, man, they out-rebounded us. And what happened with those rebounds, especially the offensive rebounds, they were able to extend possessions and find open shooters. And, when you look at switching off defenders, we're slow. When you look at closing out the shooters, man, we're slow. And I said it all the time, man, that if you want to beat the Wizards, all you had to do is have fluid ball movement. And the Suns showed that. Tonight, they had fluid ball movement, and they were able to defeat the Wizards defense. And they capitalized. This team shot, again, 47% from 3. So, and again, looking at the rebound numbers, they did out-rebound us 52-49. And we actually got more offensive rebounds, so on me and with that one. But like I said, they capitalized more with the rebounds, in my opinion, because they were able to extend possessions. And like I said, you saw glimpses tonight. And overall, looking at the overall vision, we're heading in the right direction. These young guys, especially Keyshawn George, come on now. We got him with the 24th pick. We have been notoriously known of not, getting talent in the later stages of the first round, whether it was Ernie Grunfeld or Tommy Shepard. Now with this new front office, they've shown that they can find those diamonds in the rough in the later stages of the first round. So like I said, when we talk about this John Collins trade real quick about a potential first round pick, the first round picks that the Utah Jazz have, Cleveland And I believe I forget the other team right off the top of the head, but they're not going to be lottery picks. They're going to be later stages of the first round. And I don't think that should stop you from making a deal, because Will Dawkins has shown that he can find those diamonds in the rough in the later stages of the first round. So if people are scared of the later first rounds, don't, because you can still find talent in the later stages of the first round. So
even in the second round, I know Tristan Vucevic, we haven't really seen much of him but he showed some glimpses. So again, it's not like we're in the past, the Wizards, where if it's not a top 10 pick, it doesn't really matter. Now we're taking advantage of the draft picks no matter where they're drafted at.
Absolutely. I agree 100%. So, like I said, I'm going to get your take on the John Collins trade that I advocated on the last episode. And then I'm going to go talk about some reports, because, look, they're talking to Utah about John Collins, and that could potentially hiccup any future trade, especially with the Kings, for Kyle Kuzma. So we're going to talk about that. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by, I just had it, Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer exclusive. With Robinhood Gold, your annual IRA contributions are boosted by 3%. Plus, you also get a 4% APY on your cash in non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk, everybody. Don't forget that. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year for the first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national average savings account interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. All right, AB, let's get back into this thing. So I advocated a trade prospectively for John Collins of the Utah Jazz. It is known that the Utah Jazz are looking to get his contract off the books. He's currently making $26.5 million with a player option for next year for the same amount, for $26.5 million. Now, they currently hold 2 first-round picks. Now, one is the Cleveland Cavaliers. Another one is the Minnesota T-Wolves. Now, saying that, I do think they will definitely be willing to give up one of those picks to get John Collins' contract off the books. And I think that if you look at the current market for the 3 players that are currently on the trade block for the Washington Wizards, Malcolm Brogdon, Jonas Valanciunas, and Kyle Kuzma, out of those 3 players, you may not get a first-round pick. It was hopeful that, the asking price was 2 first-round picks for Kyle Kuzma, but right now, with his dip in production and with his injuries this year, it appears that it could be risky to get a first-round pick for Kyle Kuzma. So let me ask you real quick, do you think that the best case for the Wizards to get a first-round pick is to take on a bad contract? And what do you think about John Collins, considering he makes 26.5, but then he has a player option? But if you look at the fact that it's only 2 years, it's not handicapping the salary cap situation in DC.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think, again, it is unfortunate. We always harp on the fact that at one point it was 2 first-round picks, and now we're even questioning if it's going to be a first. And that's probably the reality of the situation. John Collins, I'm not going to lie, he's also one of those guys that's always been killing the Wizards every time he plays in DC or so on his home team. But I just feel like his ability to at the forward, and again, it's not no scrub. I mean, averaging I think 18 to 20 points his whole career. A guy that's very athletic, can be a guy around the paint and just like finish slams. And it would be him and JP or Bilal. It would be a fun lob city here in DC. And again, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because you talked about how it's not going to really harm you in the cap space wise. And again, when it comes to age, he isn't the oldest dude out there, so you kind of fit him with that timeline. He could be that veteran here in DC that can mentor the young guys. So I'm not against it. I've always been a fan of John Collins. I was a big fan of him in Atlanta, and now I think he's just currently in a situation where he just wants to get out of Utah.
No, I agree 100%. So I'm gonna go over a couple of reports. The first one is through the Kings on NBCS, and it says the Kings reportedly have emerged as the most likely Kyle Kuzma suitors if the Wizards move ahead of him or look to move him ahead of the trade deadline. Now, the next report is through Evan Cedery, and it says that the Jazz and the Kings have conducted trade talks centered on John Collins. Sacramento can make salaries work while avoiding the tax by including Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles. Collins is averaging 17.9 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, and 2.5 assists while shooting 43% from 3. Come on now, yeah. So looking at those reports, AB, I mean, do you think that the Wizards should strike the iron while it's hot and make a move with the Sacramento Kings? Because look, when you look at most mock trades with Sacramento for Kyle Kuzma, you're looking at Kevin Huerter, you're looking at Trey Lyles. So, look, Utah, another lottery team, is looking to make that move. So do you think they should definitely try to strike while the iron's hot when it comes to a Kyle Kuzma move to Sacramento?
Yeah, definitely. I think again, you don't want to be in a situation where it was Tyus Jones, where you just don't get anything for the guy, because again, Will Dawkins. This is probably, I always will emphasize, we emphasize it a lot, where this trade, the value that we're gonna get out of it, no matter what it is, probably gonna be his first like asterisk to his name here in DC, because again, like at one point the asking price was so high, and you could have traded him in the draft, and instead you traded Denny. But it's just a complex situation that he was brought in, so it's gonna be really interesting to see. Again, Kuz's time here in DC, again, 5 points tonight, and the body language, just when you put all that together, it's just his one foot's basically out the door. And whatever they do get out of him, it's better than nothing, you know?
My bad. I'm gonna say this. This is the kind of scenario thing that's going to happen, or what I think should happen, to be honest with you. Number one, Malcolm Brogdon is injured. You're probably looking at a scenario where he's going to be here for the rest of the season. And I think, look, he's an aspiring contract. He's a mentor to the young guards, Bub Carrington, Jordan Poole. Why not? You don't necessarily need to move him because it's an aspiring contract. I mean, you don't, on one hand, you don't want to look at a similar situation as Tyus Jones, where he was able to walk for nothing, but then like an aspiring contract. So, you don't lose, but you don't win. It's just, it is what it is on that front. Try to get as much mentorship and leadership out of you while you can, and then, let him walk, at the end of the season. Since, Jonas Valanciunas, it's not guaranteed that he gets moved, because, the Wizards, especially if you trade with the Lakers, you're looking at two, and even, the Knicks is a different situation, but with the Lakers, you're probably looking at 2 second-round picks in 2025. And the Wizards have been kind of hesitant to accept that. And the Lakers have been kind of like, a little hesitant to move on from those second-round picks. So, and then looking at the Knicks, you're probably looking at them getting the protections off of that pick and moving forward. So I think you could move Jonas Valanciunas, but it's not going to be the sexiest return. Now, Kyle Kuzma, I would go ahead and strike the iron while it's hot. I would send him to Sacramento for Kevin Huerter and Trey Lyles. Trey Lyles is an inspiring contract. I mean, Kevin Huerter, University of Maryland guy, only 2-year contract. The contract's not going to break the bank for the salary cap situation here in DC. And I'm still making that move for John Collins. I'm going to tell you why, because I think it's the best case scenario to get a first-round pick. And they got 2 first-round picks in the 2025 NBA draft. And this draft is a loaded draft. And General Manager Will Dawkins has shown that he can find the diamonds in the rough in the later stages of the first round. So I'm not concerned with that being a later stage first rounder. I'm not, because I think we can go out there and get a good player in the later stages of the first round. So I think that's probably the best scenario route you go, because you're probably looking at Malcolm Brogdon staying, and Jonas Valanciunas, you may be able to move him, but it's not going to be the best return. And yes, you're going to free up minutes for Tristan Vucevic. You're going to free up minutes. Rashawn Holmes is kind of, he's kind of a wild card, because he's a guy who could be traded too. He's a guy, very feisty center, but he's very limited offensively. So I think that's the best case scenario. If you want to move on from Kyle Kuzma, which moving on for him is going to create a void at the power forward position, enter John Collins. Look, he can shoot the 3. He can shoot the mid-range. He's athletic. He can attack the rim. I mean, he can rebound. I mean, he fits the mold, and he'd only be here for potentially 2 years if he enacts that player option. Now, at 28 years old, he could very well say, look, I could go out there and get a bigger contract, and he could be in decline his player option. And then, look, the money's off the books. And then you can look to re-sign guys like Justin Champagny or Jared Butler or, Marvin Bagley III. So that money can be definitely used and be, we can definitely utilize that money, man. So I think that if you want to get a first-round pick up a contract like John Collins. I mean, you could call it a bad contract, but then, like I said, it's only 2 years. And what happens after his contract comes off the books? Then you have money freed up for Bilal Coulibaly's extension. So it's not hampering us. You know what I mean? And a lot of people are hesitant to make that move. But like I said, I mean, he's not going to break the bank, AB. So, like I said, I think you need to strike where the iron's hot. Beat Utah to it, because look, Utah's looking to move on. Marketing is another name out on the trade market. Like, they got a nice young squad out there in Utah, man. When you look at Taylor Hendricks, obviously he was down with the fever injury, but him, Keontae George, Cody Williams, you got nice young players out there.
Walker Kessler,
Walker Kessler, thank you. So they got a nice young core out there. So they're definitely looking to move on from John Collins. So why not accommodate them? And look, give us a first round pick. They got 2 of them, and why not? So, and looking at Utah, you can look at a similar situation where maybe they market or, try to put Laurie Marketing and the other first-round pick, and maybe they move back into the lottery, because Utah, they need to grab a high-impact player in this draft, just like we do. So that's kind of where my head's at, man. I think that John Collins could be a good move for us, man. Because like I said, he's got interest. Utah's looking, they're talking to Sacramento, and Sacramento's that one team where, look, the suitors who are looking at Kyle Kuzma are shrinking by the day, AB. And you have to strike the iron while it's hot. You have to read the market and make the deal when it's the right time to make the deal. And right now it's the time to make that deal. So, like I said, before we get into comments, man, you got anything else you want to cover real quick?
Yeah, again, like this whole Kuzma situation, I just feel like day by day, whether it's on his performance on the court or even off the court, his body language, it's just getting uglier. And I think a lot of Wizards fans, and I'm looking at the comments right now, are just they can't wait to that day where they see the notification that Kuz is finally gone.
Yeah, I would say that 90% of the fan base is ready to move on from him. And like I said, he came here and he was productive. It's not too ill will. Yeah, the bad body language, the certain things here and there off the court. But overall, not a guy that's ever been in trouble. He came here, he's produced. He really took, he liked DC. So like I said, he came and did his job, but it's time. Because like I said, Bilal, he's a different player, man. And you kind of saw that tonight where you're not getting full octane 100% effort from Bilal because for some reason, you know what I mean? And like I said, the young guy shined tonight. Bilal had his moments. I mean, he had his moments tonight, but between him, Alex R., Keyshawn George, Bob Carrington, the future is bright. So we're going to get into comments, but before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by SKIMS. When I found out SKIMS was making underwear for men, I was intrigued. I heard so much about their quality from friends and family, so I had to give it a try. Let me tell you, it lives up to the hype, straight up. I've always had issues with my underwear, fit, comfort, or just finding the right style for me. SKIMS changed all of that day one. Their men's line offers something for everyone, from boxer briefs to classic briefs, all designed with a perfect balance of comfort and style. So look, if you're like me, if you're a very active person, you work, you have children, you work out, you want a pair of underwear that's going to be able to be versatile. Look, SKIMS is your go-to. Let me tell you straight up. So do yourself a favor. Shop SKIMS Mens at skims.com/LockedOnNBA and SKIMS stores. Let them know we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show in the drop-down menu that follows. SKIMS. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the NFL playoffs even more exciting. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. And you guys know me, man. I love me some FanDuel. I'm an over and under type of person, man, but they've got everything for everyone. So just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the National Football League. All right, AB, let's get in the comments. And like I said, guys, we're going to have to be selected today because your boy is at Cap 1. So I got the hour and 40-minute trip, man. So I definitely want to get home sometime tonight. So like I said, definitely appreciate everybody rocking with me, man. Like I said, I'm going to try to do a lot more live recaps here from Capital One. Now, obviously, when I do my live recap, it does come at the expense of not being at the press conference, which is currently going on right now. So like I said, it's going to be half and half because I definitely want to get in there and get some, info and get some questions in for you guys. But then I like, doing these live recaps from Capital One, man. So let's get into it, AB. Hey, we got to start off like we always do at 6:21 p.m., by the way. Here we go again. Is Bill still suspended? And I don't, he's not suspended. He had, it says right here, again, locked the law. Bill twisted his ankle. He's not suspended. So he kind of corrected himself. I love it. Let's see. Shook Biz 1 says fourth quarter push, win by 1. It was close. We made it the game, man, but it was just a talent gap. And like I said, it is what it is. We are a very young and unproven team. And most nights, you're going to have a talent gap, baby. So I'm not too upset with this loss because it's a culture loss. They fought hard. It's one thing to get blown out by 41. It's a totally different thing to fight hard. And that's the type of culture you're trying to instill here. This is what head coach Brian Keefe is trying to instill in his team, especially these young players who are part of the future, which is if you're going to play, even if there's going to be a massive talent gap, which we have, you play to win the game. That is the point of playing. You played to win the game, and they got back to that tonight. So I love what I saw from this team tonight, man. They fought to the end. Well, they came back and they fought to the end. I'll say that. Giovanni Santana says rebounding left the chat. Yeah, I mean, they were closer in rebounding than we give them credit for, but I think that the Suns utilize their rebounds more. What do you think? Do you agree, AB? Yeah,
unfortunately, even I thought Matt could be on the Wizards side because, again, you got Alex Sarr versus Mason Plumlee, a vet, not really much of a young guy. And this is just nothing compared to the guys that he's going to see, like the Embiids of the world, the Karl Anthony Towns, So I expected to see more, but again, young guy, just let him learn.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Nomadic Brian says, "Hey, Keyshawn George tonight." Wow, Keyshawn George, man, I'm telling you. And we found this young man with the 24th overall pick, and he's got a bright future in DC. Sharpshooter. Once he figures out the other parts of his offense, man, putting the ball on the floor, creating his own shot. I think shooting off the dribble. I think he's definitely heading in the right direction, man. So, Keyshawn George tonight. Wow. Shout outs to him, man. Straight up. Shout out to Keyshawn George tonight because he played one heck of a game. Giovanni Santana says trade pool. Well, he does have interest right now. Now, I will say this. He's the best player on the team right now. So you got to ride that. And like I said, I think he's played at the all-star level now. Obviously, with team performance, they are 6-33. He's not going to the all-star berth. And let's call it like it is. He slid from 8th to 9th in all-star voting. And do I believe he's played all-star level? Yeah, he's played very well this season. I mean, he's earned the right. But team performance is going to hamper him. And it is what it is on that front. So, Nomadic Brian says, yes, on with the trades. Absolutely. I think that that's probably the best case scenario. I think you hold on to Malcolm Brogdon because the injuries are not many teams are going to take on that $22.5 million for a guy who may or may not be available for the playoffs. And looking at Valanciunas, you could argue that it's 50-50. Because they may not get the asking price they want, and he very well could be here after the deadline. And to me, you probably move him from Rashawn Holmes, and even then, Rashawn Holmes is only a 2-year deal. So you try to make moves, but then a lot of the contracts, outside of Kuz, man, aren't bad contracts, and you can see them being long-term pieces, and they're pieces that obviously aren't part of the future. But when we need to start paying some of these young guys like Bilal, these guys are going to be off the books. So we have a lot of flexibility. So do you necessarily have to trade Jonathan Valanciunas? No, absolutely not. He's been good for this team. He's produced when he plays, and he's been a good mentor, and he's pushed his Alex Sarr. But Kuz, man, is going to be a tough one because he's averaging 14 points right now, and that is a far cry from last couple of years, man. And the trade value, I think we all can agree that 2 first-round picks are totally out the window. They're on a whole different planet. 1 first-round pick, if you get one, is not going to be a lottery pick, and that it is what it is on that front, man. So let's see, man. Oh, I see people getting on Locked on Law. Tell them to be positive. It is what it is. Let's see. WXLLK says, "Hey, B." All right. Let's see. Like I said, guys, I'm trying to get through these comments, man. Johnny Halevi, what's up? How you doing tonight? Says 7 players in double digits. Impressive. I still think Bub is awesome. Absolutely. Bub is a dog. He's definitely going to be a really good player, especially offensively. Very raw. He only played 1 year at Pitt, so he is very raw. Let's be real. He's very raw. One year at Pitt, man. So he still has ways to go in his development, man. Locked on Law in his finest says Bub's shooting sucks. He needs to fix it. I think he's definitely going to fix that. So, because he's a good offensive player, he's very raw. So I think at some point he's going to ramp it up. He's definitely going to progress, man. Let's see. Dan Tico 84 says Sarr in them. Absolutely, Sarr did his thing tonight. Sarr looked really good, man. And as you guys can see, we've got people in the background, so we got that authentic touch tonight, right? Let's see. Dan Tico 84 also says, oh, he's got a couple good comments, man. It says the Wiz Kid's starting to put it together. Absolutely. Sarr can find a way to play in the post. League in trouble. Keyshawn finding his way. I agree. What do you think, AB?
No, definitely. I'm saying if Sarr finds that post game, I saw Kevin Garnett as an example. That would be amazing. But again, if he finds that post game and eventually that 3-point shot's just going to get better, he legitimately is going to be unstoppable. And when you add that with rim protecting and his motor going up and down the court at a very high speed, like, dude, arguably a top 5 center in the league.
I agree. I think Kevin Garnett and Jalen Johnson Jr. or Jaren Johnson. See, it's been one of those nights, y'all. Jaren Johnson, Jackson. Okay, you know what I'm saying. There you go, man. It's been a long day, y'all. So Jaren Jackson Jr. and Kevin Garnett are a couple of very intriguing comparisons, and I agree with that, especially with his build, man. I think that even when he adds 5 pounds of muscle, he's still going to be kind of a skinnier guy, and I think that Kevin Garnett is a great comparison. Dan TK84 also says would love for Sarr to patent his game after KG. Oh, see. Great minds think alike, right? Go work with Garnett in the offseason. I think that's a good point, man, because he's getting some notice. And I think that if he works for anybody, Kevin Garnett would be the best guy for him to work with. Mary Garrett, my guy, says realistically, only trade partners I see for the Wizards are the Lakers, Clippers, Heat, and Nets. Very intriguing. Now, I think the Nets, man, are going to be hesitant to make any moves for any kind of vets. The Heat, very intriguing. But if they make that move, sending Jimmy Butler to Phoenix, and taking on Bradley Beal. I think they're going to be out for any other major moves. The Clippers intriguing. The Lakers, I agree when it comes to Jonathan Valanciunas. I think the Kings are the best chance for Kyle Kuzma to be moved. And Malcolm Brogdon, like I said, I put a trade out there that, if you want to go out there and get John Collins, maybe, look, he's a expiring contract, so maybe they pick him on, and even if he's injured, they got Colin Sexton, so it's a expiring contract. So I think to the Utah Jazz, the biggest emphasis is getting John Collins' contracts off the books. So, could we make a move? It's possible, but his injuries continue to be a concern. Shook Biz One says, what is going on with Kuz? It seems after he requested the trade, his production took a huge dip. Single digit scoring. What the heck? I agree. He's not that same guy, man. I don't know if it's off the court stuff. I don't know if it's a trade speculation. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if he's ready to be on his way out of town, but he is a noticeable dip, man. So all right, guys, we're gonna try to knock out a few more because, like I said, I'm gonna try to get everything knocked out, man, and be on my way up the road, man. So like I said, I definitely appreciate you guys, man. Madrox was right. Says, yeah, you can offer the entire current Wizards roster for either KD or Booker and still have to offer future draft compensation for the Suns to even consider the deal. I don't think the Suns are going to be a trade partner for us, man. And I don't think we're in the market for KD or Booker, man. But I like where your head's at, but I don't think we're even anywhere close to making any kind of move with the Suns. Locked and Law says, I don't give a where Kuzma goes, just go. Okay, we know where his is at.
That's a good one.
Hey, we know where his is at, right? Let's see. My man Shook Biz One says, B Scott, do you have them in big guy size?
The B, that's a good question. I was about to emphasize that one.
Look, I'm a big guy, man. When I find out, you guys will know. So, I got you. So, all right, guys, we got a few more comments real quick. I got two more real quick. WXLLK, could you shout out Michaela so I can surprise her next time we're listening to the podcast in the car, please? Look, got you. Let me do a shout out real quick for Michaela, man. Definitely hope you listen to this on your way in the morning, man. Definitely shout out to Michaela. Appreciate you guys being local listeners or loyal listeners. Well, I'm sure you're local too, but loyal listeners. Definitely appreciate anybody, and especially you guys, for taking the time out of your day to listen to us talk about Wizards basketball, man. So definitely shout out to Michaela and my guy WXLK. I hope I'm saying that right, but shout out to Michaela again. So this is gonna be the last comment tonight. Nomadic Brian says, I lived in Virginia and I remember hurrying back to the metro to catch the last train back to the end of the Orange Line to the parking ride to get home. Fun times. Yeah, I drive in, man. So I drive all the way in. So I'm gonna hit the Beltway, get on 66 and call it a night, man. So like I said, Shook Biz One says, nice guy move. Yep, absolutely. So, all right, everybody, definitely appreciate you guys rocking with your boy live from Capital One. And again, D Book and Kevin Durant score a combined 60 points as the Washington Wizards do fall to the Phoenix Suns 130 to 123. So, all right, guys, I actually a couple things real quick. Obviously, we have a West Coast trip coming up next week. So look, we're gonna have a lot of late recaps. So again, I'm looking forward to it. I know AB is, so definitely appreciate you guys, man. It's definitely going to test your loyalty, but we're gonna have a lot of 1 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock nights. But look, it's worth it, man, because I love me some Wizards basketball. Also, we got an interview tomorrow with my guy Neil DeLaw. So that episode will drop next week, Sunday or beyond, or probably Monday, because we have a game on Sunday, but or game on Saturday, but we're going to cover that game on Sunday. So we're going to take Saturday off. So Neil DeLaw will be on the show tomorrow, but I'm gonna release it next week. And what else? I had something else I had to say. Oh, real quick, let me pull it up real quick, everybody. There was a change to the schedule for the West Coast trip due to the fires in LA. So let me pull it up real quick. The information. So the schedule has changed. The previously Thursday, January 23rd was at Utah 9 o'clock, Sunday, March 16th at LA at 10 o'clock, and Tuesday, March 18th at Portland at 10 o'clock. It has been updated, and it is now Thursday at January 23rd at the Clippers 10:30, Monday, March 17th at Portland 10 o'clock, and Wednesday, March 19th at Utah at 9 o'clock. So the schedule has changed due to the fires in LA. So again, our hearts and prayers do go out to them. So like I said, guys, I will be doing the interview tomorrow, but we're not going to release it. So this is probably going to be the last video of the week. We'll see you guys on Sunday, recapping the game on Sunday. And you guys have a blessed weekend. If you drink and smoke, please do it at home. Don't drink and drive. Don't smoke and drive, man. It's not even worth it, man. You're just going to make yourself a target. You're going to get yourself in trouble, man. Stay at home. Definitely, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. So before we roll, you got anything else you want to cover real quick, AB?
No, B, you did a great job. Hope you had a great time at Capital One. Looks like you had a great time. And yeah, man, this West Coast trip's about to be up. I'm about to be staying up, baby. Let's do it.
Yeah, man. I mean, I have fun every time I come out here, man. Now the AC had me a little chilly, so that's why I'm sitting here looking like Gordon's fisherman. But it's all good, baby. So, like I said, guys, we will see you guys on Sunday. Hail to the Wizards and peace. See you guys next time.